Greetings, Traveler and Paimon.
Are you okay, Ganyu? You were nodding off there. Didn't you sleep well last night?
I'm fine. Don't worry about me. Let's discuss the matter at hand. Since last time, I've been thinking a lot about the story Paimon told. In essence, someone rescued a drowning man and performed some music. If that were all there was to it, it could have been many people, human or Adeptus. But the tune was allegedly so wonderful that the drowning man forgot about everything else. Perhaps there was an adeptal power at work in that music that he, as a mortal, could not perceive. Or perhaps he sensed a power surrounding him, but either way, if this part of the story is true, then the rescuer has to have been an Adeptus.
You really think so? But this story is all the way from Fontaine. Also, Paimon's really curious about how people from Fontaine think this fairy lady looked. Then she looked just like Ganyu. Guess that does technically make sense. Actually, Ganyu, if you had to save a drowning person, how would you go about it?
Huh? Me? Well, I'd get them to the shore, and then once I was sure that they were going to be okay, I'd slip away without a sound.
Got it. So basically, Ganyu's the type of...
No, it's not like that. I'm just... no.
Well, what if this Adeptus in the story had a similar... She was probably thinking something like... One was merely passing by and saw fit to address this egregious disruption to one's graceful zithering at once. You may keep your thanks to yourself.
That was actually a very... As far as I'm aware, Cloud Retainer, if we set off, you'll be able to confirm either way. I've been in Lea Harbor for so long now that I'm just not as familiar with the Adepti and...
Sounds great! And we're pretty close with Cloud Retainer by now.
I've prepared a gift for her to mark the festival. Cloud Retainer spends most of her days studying mechanisms in her abode. She's on her own so much of the time that the moment she has someone to chat with... Never mind. I promised I'd help Mr. Dvorak, and now that I've made the contract, I can't be having second thoughts. Traveler, Paimon, let's...
Seems like this is a tough decision for Ganyu. Paimon gets why she'd be so anxious. Okay, how about this? If Cloud Retainer tries to start telling stories about her again this year, we should pipe up and change the topic. Wait, did she leave already? I'm so tired from trying to keep up. Don't either of you need to take any breaks?
I can't believe it.
Huh?
She doesn't like to travel, so in the past, it's always been the other Adepti who come to visit her during the festivals. True. Now that I think about it, Cloud Retainer would be quite capable of taking care of anything on her own. Since she's not here, I guess the next step is to check...
Uh-oh. Well, got it!
Please go on.
Our goal here is to find the Adeptus that helped Dvorak's ancestor, right? We can't hear any music right now, but if she's really as nice as the story suggests, she'd definitely come to help anyone who was drowning, right?
Yes, I think that's fair to say.
So, all we have to do is get the Traveler to pretend to fall into the water, and the Adeptus will come to the rescue! You know perfectly well that Paimon can't swim! deep over there. Quick, swim to the very center. Help! Help! Someone's drowning! If only there was a kind-hearted Adeptus here to save us! Oh no! Whatever will a Paimon do?
What is going on?
How do you feel right now?
Shenhe! And the Conqueror of Demons.
Why don't you say something? Please don't make Paimon explain it. Okay, fine. Paimon will explain. We're looking for an Adeptus who's good at being a lifeguard and playing music. But if the Adepti aren't gonna stay home, then how are we supposed to find them?
It wasn't me.
Yeah, so this Adeptus is most likely a woman.
And I am not an Adeptus, as you both already know, Traveler and Paimon.
Okay, so this is Paimon's fault. No way Paimon would have suggested this idea if she'd known how awkward this was gonna be.
Glad you're okay. As far as I know, the one you seek is no Yaksha. And one last thing, your actions here caused others a great deal of worry. Do not repeat them again in the future.
As ever, the Conqueror of Demons comes and goes, just like the wind.
Right. I didn't... How's your training going, Shenhe?
Oh, I had planned to spend the festival with Master this year.
Oh, speaking of Cloud...
Earlier this morning, she set off for Mount Hulao at dawn. I noticed she was using an Adeptus art of some kind to protect a mechanism that looked like a boiler.
So please excuse me for a moment. I think I'll leave...
Sure.
It sounds like Ganyu and Shenhe have gotten a lot.
Yes. During the summer and winter, I continued to train with Master. In the other months of the year, I have been learning. Ganyu arranged accommodations for me in the city, but when I try to blend in by referring to her as Miss Ganyu or Lady Ganyu, like the... Sometimes I'm supposed to copy other people. Sometimes I'm not. It's a little difficult to keep track of everything. Oh, is that what it is? Noted. So, you came looking for Master today because you wanted to ask her about the Mystery Adeptus. Is that right?
Yep. Oh, speaking of that, have you ever heard any music while out training in the mountains?
Music? What is that?
It's, a kind of a happy or relaxing sound. Or, a nerve-wracking sound. Or even a terrifying one.
Okay, I'm done. I also left her a note so that she knows where to find us.
Yay! That's...
We were just talking about this thing called music, and
Oh, really?
This is the place. I enjoy training here to the sound of music.
What? Oh no! Paimon's gone deaf! Paimon can't hear anything! Oh, whew! Paimon hasn't gone deaf after all! Paimon,
The faint sound of birdsong, the quiet murmur of the stream.
Oh! Okay, fine. It's all Paimon's fault. What we're looking for...
Oh. And a melody is?
Hey! Don't you patronize Paimon! Let's get one thing straight. Paimon knows plenty of nursery rhymes, but Paimon does not sing on demand without payment. Hey! Why don't you just sing that one melody Shen has heard before? It'll probably help her to understand what we're talking about.
Oh, was that from the opera that Yunjin sang?
That was a melody, and melodies can be called music.
It felt like I was transported back. We're all there, raising our glasses and drink. As I watched Yunjin's performance, I felt a warm sensation in my heart. And as the drink reached my stomach, it went from warm to hot. When you hummed that melody just now, feelings from a whole year ago came right back to me, as strong as the... So...
Wow, Shenhe. That was so deep. Music definitely has the power to bring up memories. It's like a time capsule with all... What about you, Ganyu?
I don't remember. I know some local folk songs. The songs of the sailors down at the docks. The little ditties that the vendors call out in front of their beloved shops. The tunes of folk artists performing. Yes, that in the past, whenever I heard the sound of those tunes, Nenny and Liyue probably view me as a non-human. And they are right, in the sense that I never could connect with humans' artistic expression and their sentiments. So I haven't been able to integrate into their community and be a part of their lives. At least, that's the view I held in the past. Only more recently did I start to realize that the only barriers are ones that I have erected with my imagination. The way those melodies make me feel isn't all that. Even though we come from different backgrounds and have different stories to tell, in that sense, we're all the same.
You go, Ganyu! You're really making progress.
Yes. Technically speaking, we should refer to each other by the conventional forms of address used among fellow disciples. But now that I know what constitutes a friendship, I do believe we are more friends than co-disciples.
Thank you.
And once the days are warmer, I would like to host you at my home in the city. Please invite Keqing as well. I've planted many types of flowers. I'm sure some of them will be to your taste.
You are too kind.
Nonsense. You are my friend. I have cultivated and cared for the flowers just as you taught me. I will save some for decoration. We can feast on the rest.
Then, thank you in advance. Wait, what is that saying again? If you insist?
Do people say that? I'm not completely sure either.
It doesn't matter, okay? You got the point across. No need to split hairs. Paimon's more concerned about your idea of a girls' night out. Eating flowers? Really? Does this have anything to do with you both being the disciples of that illuminated bird?
Who dares refer to one not by one's Adeptus title, but merely as that illuminated bird?
Master.
Our greetings, Cloud Retail.
Ah! There it is! The illuminated bird has landed!
Double humph. Now she has the gall to use it rather than she, even after being chastised once already? Barely a moment has passed since we last met, and yet your impertinence has reached new heights. Very well. One has received your message from Ganyu. Well, shall one lead the way?
I still have to complete my training for today, so I will bid farewell to everyone.
Very well. Await my arrival at one's abode later this night. On this special occasion, you should indulge yourself with some savory dishes.
If you want to release a Shao Lantern...
Thank you, everyone.
The tide of battle is in our favor.
Is this Guili playing? Cloud Retainer, why did you bring us here?
Ganyu is of course familiar with the name Guizhong, but have you ever heard of her? Guizhong is another name of Agentis, the god of dust. She was extroverted in nature and adored social gatherings and inventions alike. Long ago, this region was yet a prosperous assembly. Guizhong often invited her friends to visit her home, reserving for... Seagazer would always bring out his latest treasure and place it upon the table. He could be quite the braggart. Though usually a mild-mannered fellow, when it came to those collectibles he was so fond of, he always loved to show them off.
Paimon remembers that name. So that's what Seagazer was like.
He was an old friend and a former rival. One has many memories of him. Once he had brought out the treasure, it would predictably become the center of attention. Neither Guizhong nor One was content to let him just steal the spotlight. So we would then also present our proudest mechanical creations. As Adepti, we were each gifted in our own ways, and naturally proud of our accomplishments and His treasures were not even of his own making. He just used his exploration skills to dig them out of the ground. How, pray tell, could he compare to me, when every single one of one's accomplishments were crafted by one's own hand?
Cloud Retainer, you are getting competitive again.
One digresses. Regardless, every time an argument occurred, Guizhong would come over to watch us during our mutual lambastics. On some occasions, she would join in, and on others, she'd take one of us by the limb and start uttering the most ridiculous nonsense.
What kind of nonsense?
No kind of nonsense were we spared. Sometimes she would brazenly opine, why argue between yourselves when neither of you could ever hope to beat me? Other times, she would make unsolicited suggestions, such as, once you two are done arguing, let's go to the foot of the mountain and grill some meat. She always sought to make everyone happy. And one must say, it also helped that she never referred to one as that illuminated bird or lady bird.
Come on, get over yourself!
Anyway, Just as our impassioned arguments would reach the apex of acrimony, Marchosius would bring his delectable dishes to the table. Who would dare snub the stove god and his wondrous creations? At the sight of him, we would all immediately drop the argument and prepare the table for a night of feasting and drinking. Back then, one was always bothered by how the cups Rex Lapis brought were always too square for one's taste. Can you see yourselves ever enjoying a drink from a square cup? Then you are most tolerant, but that is its own virtue. Even one could never find fault with Marchosius's cooking. As we ate, Guizhong would continue to find topics for conversation, filling the table with humor and laughter. Each of those old fossils had their character flaws and points of obstinacy. So why was it that whenever we dined together, we always had a marvelous time? We would drink together from a spot high in the mountains until the moon set and the sun rose, and only then would the banquet finally come to an end. Streetwood Rambler would often remain to admire the flowers with Guizhong before returning to her own abode. The glaze lilies were far more abundant back then. Entire fields of them would appear to the eye as a veritable sea of flowers.
Streetward Rambler?
That would be Ping. You probably know her as Madam Ping.
Oh, okay. Wait, this is a lovely story and everything, but didn't we come here to find that Adeptus from Mr. Dvorak's story?